What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ben and this is 3T's Mobile Automotive Repair. And today we got a little bit of a different video for you. Let me show you what we're going to do. So I'm making this mainly because I had a lot of comments, and when I say a lot, I mean like 4 or 5, okay? So don't get it twisted. I don't think I have a ton of people. But they were saying how they hate this machine, how it's too slow, it sucks, everything else. Now granted, I've only used it once so far, and I'm gonna show it to you here because I wanted to make a video showing exactly how long it takes to use it and exactly how long it takes to use this machine. Because I couldn't find a video on that. So I'm gonna make that video. It ain't gonna be great, but this is what it is. So I've got my wife's 22 Honda Accord here, which is the 1234 system. And this is my daughter's Honda CR-V. This is like a 2013 or something like that. And that's got the 134. So I'm hooked up to the vehicle. This one, let me close the valves. Close these valves. So we got refrigerant in the systems. We're gonna go ahead and open these valves. Now this one, I don't know if it's low on refrigerant. It might be, I don't care. It's my daughter's car, whatever. But what we're going to do is we're gonna hit recover on both. This one here says to connect the valves. This one asks if we wanna save the service records. I don't, because I don't have a SD card in it yet. So we're gonna hit no on this. Do not save. Sorry, I meant to hit the check mark. So it says connect both service hoses to the AC system and open the valves. This one says the same thing. We're gonna hit the green check mark and they're both gonna do their thing. This might take a little bit of time, so you can watch it or you can skip along. I might speed this part up until the next step, but this is exactly how long these are going to take to recover, pull a vacuum, and then recharge the system. This one's kind of automated. This one's not automated. You have to pay attention to the screen and click the next buttons, and I'll show you that as we go along. So again, I'm only making this because a lot of people said they hate the time frame on this, and I'm trying to prove that it's really not that long. So if you look at labor time, this one is reading tank weight. This one's calibrating the refrigerant identifier. So this one does take longer. It identifies the refrigerant before it moves on to the next step. This one is doing the recovery process. So again, the main reason I'm making this is people said that they hated this on time. Yes, it takes longer than the old machines. I mean, things evolve and regulations get a bit tighter. But if we think about what real labor book time is on an evacuation and recharge, it's really high. I think it's like 1.5 to 1.7 hours. That's a bit on the insane side, right? So this only takes a half an hour. How is that so bad, right? If you charge appropriately for it, then you know, make your labor time correct, what are you gonna do? You gonna charge 0.7? You gonna charge an hour? Are you gonna charge 1.7? That's up to you. That's your shop. That's your labor rate. But charge accordingly and do the right thing for your customer. It doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as it does the job efficiently and it does the job correctly. You know, why complain on how long the machine takes? I find that really stupid if you're complaining about how long it takes, because it's the same thing. Oh, I don't want to do an intake job because it takes 4 hours. That's dumb. That's stupid. It's the same thing. But can you get it done in 2 hours? Yeah. Okay. Well, it pays this. I can get it done in half an hour. Why not? So I was talking and I missed it, but the identifier just finished and it showed up on the screen. You probably can't see it, so whatever, because I know you can't really see the screens on it. So I'm going to go ahead and it says, do you wish to take a snapshot? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to let it do its job. So, I just tripped over the fucking AC lines and fell on my face almost. All right, so as I just fell on my face, this one, it's probably a little low, but this is in our second stage recovery already. This one is still in its first stage of recovery. Let's see, this one, both of them hold the same amount of refrigerant, which is about 0.43 or 45 kilograms, which is just under a pound of refrigerant. So it's like 15.5 ounces or so. Depends on how you do your evacuation and recharge. This one is set up as kilograms. This one I can change whatever, I could use ounces or 1 point something pounds, or I could use kilograms on it if I choose to. This one's already set up as kilograms. And like a genius, I forgot to check the time on when this was, but we've been going for only a few minutes here, so we'll see how long the video is. I'll earmark that in the video, and I'll give you a time frame when we're done in editing. This one's got 3 minutes left on the second stage of recovery, and then it'll weigh that refrigerant and it'll drain the oil into the oil tank. This will do the same once it gets to that point. And now, if you saw it before, all right, now we're in our second stage of recovery on this machine. If you saw it before, when I fell and I kicked that hose because my foot got stuck on the hose, that can mess up your recovery and the weight, but not so much because it doesn't wait until the end. So just be careful, don't trip over it like an idiot like I did. So I also had somebody comment saying that, you know, I need to be careful because I'm mobile and these scales bounce around. He did mention that how to check if these have the lock scales, but I've never checked this one, and I'll check them tomorrow before I put them in the machine. I'll take them apart, but I've had this for almost 3 years and it's never given me a problem. I do calibrate it every once in a while and it never needs calibration, and it's in my trailer and it's banging around all the time. I'm hoping this one will be the same, but this one has been top notch. It's never given me a problem. And I like the Robinair machines. I don't see a problem with them at all. All right, so we got about 1 minute and 40 left here, and I got 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on this one on the second stage. All right, this one's done. It recovered 0.675 pounds. I'm gonna do a 2-minute vacuum, only because I don't need to sit here for 10 minutes. I didn't open either of these systems. We're just gonna do a quick vacuum, and you can add in another 8 minutes in total time if you're gonna do a 10-minute vacuum or longer on your car that you're working on. So we're gonna let this go and do its vacuum. So that's counting down. This has got 25 seconds left on the second stage recovery. All right, that one's done. It recovered 0.436, and I know that's correct because that's exactly what I charged into it yesterday. So it does ask me now to check the oil drain bottle. I've got nothing in it, all right? It's not enough to do anything. So we're gonna leave it at, that says 0, and that's it. Your recovery is done. Now, typically, some people would go ahead and pull a long vacuum here. Well, this machine, when you do a charge, it's gonna pull a vacuum first and do a leak check on that. So you don't have to pull a full vacuum if your system wasn't leaky and all that other stuff. That's up to you if you wanna add that extra time in later. This vacuum is done. So I'm gonna go ahead, pretty good timing there. So now we're gonna charge both systems so you can see how long this one will take to charge and this one will take to charge. So let's go here first. We're gonna charge. It's gonna check for database. Let me do one at a time so I don't screw up. I'm gonna change my scale here to kilograms, and we're gonna go 0, 0, 4, 5. Okay, we're gonna close these. And this one charges with the high side. So we're gonna leave that for a second. We're gonna come to charge over here. Do you want to save service record? No? Oh, hit the wrong button again. It says do not save. I wanna hit the check mark. and it asks you, is this service being performed on a system with an electric compressor using POE oil? No, it is not. It's going to check the inline pressure. I'm going to go ahead and hit the button on this one to do the charge, which is open this and then charge. And this one, it says do not disturb it. It's going to charge it. So this one, we're going to go 00436, because that's what I put in it yesterday. And it's going to charge on the high side. We're going to hit the button on it. It says connect both service hoses to the vehicle and open both of the valves. We're going to hit check mark. It's pulling a 5-minute vacuum. So again, if you're just looking for a 5-minute vacuum, it's going to do it for you. You don't have to pre-do it and then do another 5-minute. So this one does that for you. This one's already charging, and it's nearly already charged. So it's reading tank weight here. And this one's pulling that vacuum. So obviously longer of a machine, but still, it's not that long. We haven't been standing here very long. All right, this one's done. So it tells us to disconnect the high side service hose and connect the low side hose and start the AC system on max. All right, so this one's running. All right, and open both of the panel hoses. What it's going to do is use the suction line of the compressor and pull refrigerant through the high side, through this, and back into the system so it can equalize and take the full charge. All right, so we're done there. We're going to close these valves and hit that. Close the coupler valves and disconnect the service from the vehicle. So that's it on this one. So now we got it unhooked. We'll hit it. It's going to recover the lines and put the system back in a state to be ready for the next job. So we'll let that finish up real quick, and that way you can I can clock the time for you when we're done. This one's got 2 minutes left on that 5-minute vacuum. I wish I had enough equipment that I could do more cameras on the screens for you so you can actually see what it says, but this is what you get. If that's something y'all really, really want at another time, maybe I'll do that, but all right, so this one's done. It said 0.45 was charged, and everything's done. Close your valves, hit that. Your gauges are now pulled down into a vacuum, and you're ready for the next job. So we can go ahead and shut this one off, and I'm going to get it out of the way. All right, so now it's going to do another 5 minutes, which is a leak check. So the one thing I don't know, which I'll find out soon enough, but I've already got 3 jobs lined up for this for next week. Systems that have more refrigerant, I know with that machine, when you do a recover on it, the second recovery on it is longer on a system that has more refrigerant. So these 5-minute quick checks right here could be longer on a bigger system. I don't know. So this is doing a full out leak check, or not a full out leak check, but it's doing a leak check. Which is good, because if you don't do a recheck of yourself, what if you nicked an O-ring? What if you screwed something up? Now the reason that they do this on this one, which I'm not going to be 100% perfect on what I'm going to say here, but you can take it for what it is. The evaporators on the 1234 systems are thicker. They're more robust than your typical 134. So we're probably not going to see a lot of Chrysler evap jobs off of these systems, but normally they're doing that because this is like a this is like a tetrafluoropropene refrigerant, whereas that's an HFC, which is a hydrofluorocarbon, I think. And I don't know the abbreviation for this one, but I believe it's called a tetrafluoropropane. So it's a propane style. It's flammable, but so is that. But this isn't any more flammable than fuel or oil, except it's in the passenger compartment. So this is why there's a lot more regulation on this, because it's going to tell you here, I don't know if you'll see it, but on this screen, it's going to tell you to turn the fan on and put it on floor and put a sniffer in there to make sure there's no leak inside that evaporator. And I'm going to assume they're telling you floor because it's heavy and it wants to float towards the bottom, is, you know, the molecules of it. That's just a guess. I don't know if it really is heavier. I'm just assuming why it's saying that. But it's looking for safety. So we're trying to rush something here when we're not looking for the safety of our customer, number one. Number two, ourselves, because we're working on it. And three, that's a liability. Why do we want to push it, you know, push the boundaries because a machine takes longer to do a job? Charge for it. We're in business to make money. So if it takes longer to do it, charge more money for it. You know, I mean, come on. I'm going to start out with an hour on my evacuation and recharge on these. I don't know where I'll be on that compared to the rest of the market where I am. I can tell you the last shop I worked at, they only paid us 0.7 to do an evacuation and recharge on that with that machine. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to start there and feel out my market, and then I'm going to move from there, because there's not a lot of places here in town that have this machine, and there's no other mobile guy that has a machine, or let alone two machines in their trailer. Most of the mobile guys in my area don't have even close to the setup I have, which is not a bad thing. I'm not shitting on them for that. I'm just saying that I'm trying to be different than everybody else. So I want to be able to get those jobs. If I'm one of the first ones that has this stuff and I can get those jobs, I'm going to gain that customer for life, and that's the goal of this. So I don't really care how long it takes. I want that job. I want that customer. All right, so we're 1:18 left on that second 5-minute leak check. It's going to charge a little bit, not the full charge right now. It's going to charge it and it's going to stop. And that's when it's going to come on the screen and tell us to go do what I just said about the lower vent. All right, so it says, turn the blower on low, AC switch off, air distribution set to floor. Leak test system with a J291 compliant leak detector set at 4 grams per year by inserting the probe into the center floor outlet as far as possible. If the detector alarms a leak, is indicated and must be repaired. Was this test performed? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Was this test performed? I'm going to say yes. Was it free of leaks? I'm going to say yes. Does the AC system have an auxiliary evaporator? So like maybe like a Tahoe or something like that, where it's got one in the rear, or a Caravan or something. Does it have one? I'm going to say no. And now it's going to finish up that charge. All right, so we're finishing up the charge from where it was 2 minutes ago when it partially charged the system. And you can't see it, but at the top now it just says charge. Do you wish to take an AC system pressure snapshot? I'm going to say no because I don't have a memory card. Press continue to equalize hoses. Disconnect the service hoses, connect the high side service hose, and connect the low side, and start the AC to max. So same as the other car. So let's disconnect this. Let me get the keys. Maybe it won't do it with the hood open. Dang it. All right, system's on. So we're going to equalize the hoses. All right, close the coupler valves, disconnect, and turn off the vehicle. I'm going to hit continue on this and go shut the car. All right, so same thing as before, is it's setting up the hoses and recovering it so it'll be ready for the next job. Now this part here, you don't have to wait on this for the other customer or charge your customer. This isn't part of that process. This is just setting it up for the next job. So we're gonna let that go and do its thing as I sit here and talk to you for a second. So we'll let this go. Oh, that's it, it's done. 100% done. So there you go, amount charge, 0.436 kilograms, and that's it. Back to the main screen. So I'm gonna shut this one off. That's it, man. Like, that really didn't take that long. I don't know exactly how long, so give me a second. I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna go back and look at when I started it and how long this video is till right now on both machines. All right, so there you have it. I went back and looked at the footage. So right at the like 5.5 minute mark is where I hit charge on both machines. Right at the 21 to 22 minute mark, that R134 was done. So what's that, like 15 to 17 minutes that it took to do that, right? Not too bad. And then the whole video from that 5.5, the whole video was about 35 minutes long total that I just recorded. And so at 5.5 to about that 30 mark when I said I was going to go check the time. So it took about 30 minutes again, just like I said in the beginning. So I don't think that's a really bad thing. If that's taking 17 minutes and this is taking 30, this is going through a bit more of a procedure because it needs to watch for safety and regulations for EPA. So again, I don't think this is a really bad thing. I know a lot of you are thinking about the old school Robinair machines that were like, you know, sideways. I loved them also. Listen, that was my first machine I had before this one, but you couldn't get parts for it anymore. You couldn't get service calls done. Why? Because they're out of date and you don't really need to be using it. They leaked all the time. They didn't charge right. It was just too old of a machine. So we started going to the new stuff. But listen, I've done air conditioning for a very, very long time with cars. I loved those machines, but I don't see this as a problem. If you do, I'm sorry for you, but I just don't think that you're right. I don't think that we should make the industry think that these are junk and that they're bad and it takes too long. Because what I feel like you're doing is you're going to make the guy that wants to do it right feel like he doesn't need to. And that's, I feel in my heart and the way I run my company, that's the wrong thing to do. I don't think we should discourage them from wanting to get a good machine and do the job right. I don't know about the Molly machines or the CPS machines or the Master Cool machines. I don't use them. I didn't choose to buy those. This is what I own, and I'm a mobile service, and they work great for me. I'm hoping this one will work great for me. So far, it's been fine, and I appreciate how well it works, and that one's perfect. So again, if you're one of those ones that's doing that, that's fine. You can do that all you want. I'm not going to. I'm going to encourage the person that wants to buy this to buy it, and they want to do it right, that this is the way to go. This is a very good machine. I appreciate it. I'm not paid to tell you that. I paid $6,500 for this. I paid $3,800 for that 3 years ago. It's my money. So I've got over $10,000 in AC machines in my trailer. I got you know, what are you going to do, right? I mean, it's what we have to do in order to fix these cars if you want to fix the cars. So anyway, that's it. That's my take on the machine, and I appreciate y'all. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next job.